As a whole, this entire right-wing libertarian philosophy that both Ron Paul and his son, Rand Paul, are trying to bring to the surface is basically a very ancient philosophy. It no longer has any basis in fact. Private property rights are just fine as long as you're not hurting anyone else, and private property rights are hurting everyone else at this point. All you have to do is look at the machinations of British Petroleum, Exxon, Chevron, and so on. These are all private corporations. But we, as the people, we're also entitled to have a voice. And that voice is not being heard, neither by Ron Paul, Rand Paul, or the people on Wall Street. Because we're basically moving back towards the age of feudalism, and this is what we're headed towards with this kind of philosophy. It won't work. It has never worked. And I'm not saying a collectivism of some kind, communism of some kind, is the answer. But there needs to be some compromise here in order to view the human species as a whole, because we're not really all that good, We may think we're all good and have all these bright ideas, and sometimes we do and sometimes we don't. So this overall rush to completion and greed and profit needs to be curtailed by the sensibilities which actually do promote some sort of cooperation between peoples and between living standards and a respect for our resources, which are limited. So I guess I'm not a radical. All I'm trying to say is that this robber baron capitalism is imploding on itself. And the elites know it, which is why they're grasping at straws at this point. And, if history is any lesson, they will probably do their very best to suppress any opinion which is contrary to this. On the other hand, they may in the end not prevail, because as they proceed to ruin the planet, so to speak, for short-term profit, there aren't going to be any winners at all, anywhere. So we have to keep fighting the good fight as long as it's still possible. So don't give up, don't give in, and think about what's going on, and in your own small way make a contribution to move away from all this stupid consumerism in Western society, which in the end will implode